فاصبر صبرا جميلا.
Now we're going to move on to the second type of people who are excused. And what was it? The travelers. Let's speak about the traveler. The traveler has, a traveler we're looking at is few different situations. The situation of the traveler is a few different things. Number one, a person who when he travels, he finds harm in fasting. This traveler, when he travels, he gets sick from fasting. And he gets harm. It harms him. So he loses consciousness, he becomes dizzy, and it causes him physical harm. This person is haram for him to fast. What is it? He's harming himself, he's not allowed to. Okay? And the Prophet ﷺ told us, لَيْسَ مِنَ الْبِرِّ الصَّوْمُ فِي السَّفَرِ. When he saw a man who was knocked out, and the Prophet said, what's this man's situation? They said, Ya Rasulullah, he was fasting. And the people were blowing, they were doing, it was so hot for him. The Prophet said, لَيْسَ مِنَ الْبِرِّ الصَّوْمُ فِي السَّفَرِ. This is not righteousness. Are we all together? The second situation is, the person is traveling, they're not going to be harmed, but it's a bit of mashaqqa, a bit of hardship they will go through. But it's not harm, but a bit of hardship he will go through. This one is disliked for him to fast. It's disliked. If you know you're going to go through, you're a traveler, and on top of that, you're going to go through a bit of hardship, okay? You're not going to be knocked out, but you're going to lose your temper, for example, short-tempered, or you're going to, you're not going to be able to fulfill certain things that you could have fulfilled because of your tiredness and fatigue, then it's disliked. Don't do that. That's 2. 3, the fasting and not fasting is equal for you. This person, whether he fasts or doesn't fast, for him is the same. You know, there's some people, even outside Ramadan, they never eat. They're like that. They never eat. Days go by, it's just like they haven't eaten anything. So fasting and Ramadan and outside is the same for this person. Which one is more preferred for this person? This is the dispute that comes out a lot. Scholars always say which one's better for. If I fast and if I break my fast, which one is what? That which is the strongest opinion is what? Hey, let's ask the sisters first. Is it better for the person to fast? So fasting and not fasting is the same, and he's a traveler. 50-50. Which one's better? So let's first one. To fast, is that better? And the second opinion is that for him not to fast. Hey brothers, hey, put your hand up if you believe 50-50, fasting is better. Okay, second one, who believes? No, it's better not to fast. This is where the biggest dispute amongst the scholars come. Yeah? Some scholars, they say it's the month of Ramadan. It doesn't come every year. You can do it. It's 50-50, no hardship, nothing. Fasting is better because of the timing. And because of all the goods that we mentioned that fasting does to the body, and it weakens your shahwa and all of that. They said, please do that. Another group of scholars, they said, la, when Allah gives you ease, He loves to see His slave take the ease. Look what the Prophet said in the hadith. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ أَن يُؤْتَى بِالْعَزَائِمِ كَمَا يُحِبُّ أَن يُؤْتَى بِالرُّخَصِ. Allah loves for the person to come with what? If Allah tells you do something, He loves you for you to come with those things that He told you to do. The same way He loves you to do the ease He's given you. Allah loves you to take the ease. That's a form of what? Servitude. And my heart is more inclined to, it is better to what? Yeah? What do you say? I won't answer that one. The second point, inshaAllah ta'ala. A person who's a resident. A person is a what? Is a resident. Okay, we're talking about traveler. The person is a resident. He embarked on traveling while he was fasting. Is it permissible for him now to break his fast? So when he left his house, he done his suhoor, mashallah, he prayed Fajr in the masjid. Now, 10:30, he's in the airport. He thought, oh no, I don't think I can do this. Not because it's fasting and non-fasting is the same for him, but he just thinks, why don't I just take the ease? Is it allowed for him, now that he's already embarked on the fasting, is he allowed to turn his back on Allah? I scared you with the question. Okay, is he allowed to break his fasting? Yeah? Or is it haram once you embark on a righteous deed? It's like you gave a gift, you can't take it back. What is it? Which one is it? Sheikh Muhammad. So it's allowed, you can break it, but it's better that you don't. That's correct. It is preferred to not break it, but if you do break it, you always had the ease. That was your choice. Okay? Nope. You just have to bring it back after Ramadan. You're a traveler. You always have the choice. Is that the reason why some scholars don't believe that? They believe even the voluntary fasting, like the Hanafiya, they believe the voluntary fasting is only voluntary before you embark on it. Once you embark on it, your option is off the table now. You have to finish it. That's what the Hanaf believe. No, it's your choice. In Ramadan, if you want to travel for pleasure reasons and you're allowed to. Does that make sense? There's nothing wrong with that. This idea where it's Ramadan, be careful, make all your journeys before Ramadan and after Ramadan, is wrong. We're going to come to the ones who are sinners, who sinning, meaning they're traveling for something haram. They're traveling to go to club and haram. Are these let's go to that now. The person who is their travel is haram. So a guy is traveling from Dubai, for example, and he's going to, for example, London, let's say, and he's going there for haram. And it is in Ramadan, and he's fasting. Is he going to be given the rukhsa of breaking the fast? Or is he like criminal? This whole travel of yours it's wrong. Allah does not, He doesn't accept it, nor does He. No, you have to fast, and you can't shorten your prayers, and you can't combine your prayers. Is that what we say to him? Or is he still a traveler? And that the ayah is general. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. It didn't break down what type of safar. Which view is right? Who's thought of these questions before? Who's never thought of these questions? Is like, wow, I'm hearing these questions for the first time in my life. And if you look at the books of fiqh, the scholars asked every possible question. They've hypothetical scenarios that don't even exist. Sometimes they've written in their books. They're called Masail Iftiradiyya. It didn't happen. Hypothetical scenarios that at their time never happened. Guess what? We saw some of these issues now that they answered. So that person is a criminal and he has no rights to take any of the rukhas of the Sharia. He's a criminal. No one's going to aid him and support him in what? In that crime that he's trying to commit. So no, you can't shorten the prayers. Okay? He's not allowed to shorten the prayer, that man. He's not allowed to break the fasting. If he does, that's a sin for him. If he combines the prayer, he's sinning by doing that. That's not. He's got that option. Nah. What about if he's half? He's doing half haram stuff, and give us an example. He's going to visit his family and after he wants to go clubbing. No. The clubbing is in there, so he gets no rukhsa. All these examples we're going to come to. Let me go through all this traveling. Any questions after that, we'll take it on. Another question is, a person who is a traveler, when does he break his fast? The person who wants to travel, does he break his fast after he leaves his city, or does he break his fast in his house? Like I'm in my house, for example, where I live in UAE, I'm not going to say it. And then do I break my fast from where I live in my house? Or do I have to leave the city of where I live? Once I leave the border of the city, I'm now a traveler. Now that term is mine, and then I can break my fast. So, inshaAllah ta'ala, that I'm going to go through these points quickly. InshaAllah ta'ala, that which seems apparent is that he can break his fast even in his house. He can break his fast even if he's what? In his house. And this is, the evidence for this is Muhammad ibn Ka'ab al-Quradhi. He said, I came to Anas ibn Malik, the noble companion, in Ramadan, and he wanted to travel. And his riding beast was made ready for him, and they put all of his belongings on it for him, Anas ibn Malik. And he wore his clothing for traveling. And then he called for food. He's at home. It was Ramadan. They got his riding beast ready for him, and they put all of his stuff on it. And then he asked for food. He said, I'm about to leave, I'm hungry, can I have my food, inshallah? So food was brought for him, فَأَكَلَ, and then he ate. Now this is still not evidence. An action of a companion by itself is not evidence, by itself. But look what Anas said after that. The Muhammad ibn Ka'ab al-Quradi, he said, I asked him, Sunnah? What you're doing, is it Sunnah? He looked at me and he said, Sunnah. ثُمَّ رَكِبَ دَابَتَهُ, and then he went on his riding beast and he left. Are we all together? Now, when the Sahabi says it's Sunnah, where did he get it from? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So this is an evidence. Look what Tirmidhi said. He said, وَقَدْ ذَهَبَ بَعْضُ أَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ إِلَى هَذَا الْحَدِيثِ وَقَالُوا لِلْمُسَافِرِ أَنْ يُفْطِرَ فِي بَيْتِ قَبْلَ أَنْ يَخْرُجَ وَلَيْسَ لَهُ أَنْ يَقْصُرَ الصَّلَاةَ حَتَّى يَخْرُجَ مِنْ جِدَارِ الْمَدِينَةِ أَوْ الْقَرْيَةِ وَهُوَ قَوْلِ إِسْحَاقِ بْنِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ الْحَنْظَلِي. Okay. Tirmidhi, by the way, his book, as a side benefit, don't just read the hadiths. Always, or a lot of places, not always, but a lot of the places, Tirmidhi has a nice commentary on some of the hadiths, and he even mentions the views of some of the Sahabas and the Tabi'een. So remember that, okay? He separated between the traveler in terms of fasting and prayer. Prayer, you can't shorten until you leave what? He's saying? The wall. Like, what about fasting? Fasting, you can do it from your house. That's what he's saying. Are we all together, brothers? By the way, remember, shortening is different from combining. Mas'alatul jam' is a mas'ala akhar. Are we all together? Can a person who's going to go traveling, can he combine between the prayers? Yes, even if he's in his house. He's going to travel a few hours from now, he's in his house. Can he combine between Dhuhr and Asr? He can. But can he shorten? No. Until he leaves the what? Until he leaves the city. Okay, another point, inshaAllah ta'ala, mas'ala al-rabi'ah, another mas'ala, which is a person came back from a travel and it was still fasting time. He came back from a journey and it's daytime, people are still fasting. But he's not fasting. What should he do? So what I said was, if you're a traveler and you're at home, for example, you're here, you're in Dubai, and you're going to fly after Asr. That's when your flight time is. What you can do is you can combine between Dhuhr and Asr. But you cannot, at your home, but you cannot shorten it. You can't pray 2 and 2. You have to pray 4 and 4. Does that make sense? The issue of shortening only applies once you are out of your city. Does that make sense? Good. Now there's another mas'ala, which is someone came from a journey. They came to their own, you came to Dubai, you landed back where your residency, you're here, you're resident. You came flying from London, for example. You came to Dubai and it was daytime. You landed and it was what? Daytime. The people are fasting and you are what? You are not fasting. Does that make sense? What is upon you? All that's upon you is that you just have to bring back that day. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Does that make sense? Another thing is, who is a traveler? Are you there? The term traveler, it goes back to the people's customs. The Sharia never defined the word traveler. It didn't define it in terms of duration and distance. Does that make sense? The Sharia did not determine how long you can be a traveler for, and it didn't mention the distance which constitutes a traveler. There is no evidence for that. Wala distance, wala al-muddah. The distance or the duration, there's no evidence for it. Are we all together, brothers? Am I making sense here? So restricting the traveler to 3 days, there's no evidence for that. Restricting him to any time, say you're a traveler for only those 3 days. After that, you're no longer a traveler, there's no evidence for that. Connecting the term traveler to a distance and saying this from this distance to this distance, you're not a traveler. And after that, you're a traveler. There's also no evidence for that. The term traveler purely goes back to what the people consider traveling. For example, do the people consider traveling to Sharjah, Dubai to Sharjah, do they consider that traveling? No, even though we're going from one city to a? Does that make sense? What about if I travel from Dubai to Abu Dhabi? Do the people consider that traveling? Yeah, generally speaking, we consider that traveling. But guess what? It could happen, that I could get to Abu Dhabi faster than a person who's in Dubai from one destination to another destination in Dubai. Does that make sense? Let's say, what's the furthest in Dubai? Jabal Ali? Further than that? What was it? Yeah? Let's say Qusais is one side. Yeah? Dubai, Qusais. And let's go the furthest. How far can we go here? Jabal Ali. Anything after that? Jabal Ali and Qusais, how long is the distance? 1 hour and a half. From 1 hour and a half, no? If you're following the law, of course it's 1 hour and a half. Unless you're doing something else. Yeah? So it's from the Qusais to Jabal Ali is like 1 hour and a half, صح? No? Taqriban. Okay. What about from Qusais to Abu Dhabi? Okay, what about Jabal Ali to Abu Dhabi? From Jabal Ali, which is Dubai, listen to this, I want to prove something to you. The distance from Jabal Ali to Abu Dhabi is shorter, صح? Than Qusais to Jabal Ali, صح? True or false? It doesn't matter. We don't consider from Qusais to Jabal Ali, do we consider that be traveling? No, we don't. But from Jabal Ali to Abu Dhabi, do we consider that traveling? No, we do. It goes back to what the people consider traveling. I'll give you an example in London. Going from London to High Wycombe, okay, or London to St. Albans, okay, is considered what? Traveling. And we consider that traveling in the UK. But I could go to St. Albans faster than I can from West London to East London. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter how fast or quick you can do it. The issue is, what do the people consider traveling? Are we all together? Am I making sense here? It's very important that you remember that. And that's the strongest opinion in the issue, okay? So that is a traveler. Okay, now it's Maghrib Salah. After Maghrib, straight away, we have to finish the people of A'adhar. So bear with me and be kind to me. So let me finish it. And then if we got time, we can take questions, inshaAllah ta'ala, okay? After traveling, he left Dubai and he came back to Dubai. And it was Ramadan daytime. What did we say that he has to do? So he flew into the country that he is a resident of. So Dhuhr time, he landed in Dubai and everyone is fasting. And he wasn't fasting because he's a what? What is upon him? Yeah? He has to bring it back. That's good. But what about the remaining part of the day? Does he hold from eating, or is he allowed to eat? Yeah? So some of the scholars did say he has to withhold from eating, but the strongest opinion is what? He doesn't have to withhold. He can eat, inshaAllah ta'ala. This is the qawl of Imam Malik and Imam Shafi'i and a riwayah of Imam Ahmad rahimahullah.